Tonight on Mr. Media, I'll talk to the guys from the Ready Stance, a great new rock band from Newport, Kentucky, just over the Ohio River from Cincinnati. Their new album, Damndest. Stick around, because if you do, the boys will play a song or two for you live. Mr. Media is recorded live before a studio audience of wussy musicians from Cincinnati who can't figure out how a band from Kentucky made it to Mr. Media before they did in the new media capital of the world, St. Petersburg, Florida. I'm really picky about the bands that come on this show. Now, we'll invite maybe one a month to be guests. And now, you know, I love music, and it's a great thing to have groups come into this 21st century form of media to talk and play a few acoustic numbers. But it's got to be a sound that I can get behind, you know? So tonight, I think I've picked another winner in a band from Newport, Kentucky called the Ready Stance. They play a modern rock style that's catchy without being cloying, and that will remind you at points of perhaps Tom Petty or the BoDeans, and at other moments you might hear a little Athens or even Seattle. The band features guitarist and founder Wes Pence, lead vocalist and guitarist Chase Johnston, drummer Eric Moreton, and bassist Randy Cheek. But enough of me talking about them. Please welcome to Mr. Media, the Ready Stance. Hey guys.
Hey, how you doing?
And you'll vouch for the fact that you are the band.
I think so. To the best of our knowledge, yeah.
This is not one of those times where the roadies are sitting in for the lighting check.
We should probably go ahead and full disclosure. The band hired us models, the male models to pose.
I got it. Because the band's actually a bunch of ugly chicks, right?
They are, and obviously that's not us.
I guess we're technically the roadies too. Yeah. This is roadies.
Well, why don't we start with introductions so people know who we're talking to, and let's start. It would be my left and your right. So,
my name is Wes Pence, and play guitar and do some backing vocals.
All right.
He writes most of the songs. I'm Chase Johnston, play guitar, sing.
Front man. That's why he's in front.
Yeah,
I'm in the middle
man. Yes.
Middle man.
All right. I guess as we proceed, we got to jump to the back now. For Eric?
My name's Eric Moreton. I play the drums.
All right.
Quite well.
My name is Randy. I play the bass guitar.
Also well.
I appreciate that no one said, and I play the fool.
That'll become obvious as time goes on.
You get to pick which one.
Now, guys, usually in these group interviews, the drummer gets short shrift. So I want to actually turn convention on its ear and throw the first question to Eric Moreton. Eric, from your many hours of playing behind these guys, what do you know about them that even their own wives and girlfriends and mothers don't?
On the spot. The hot seat. Right on the spot.
There's no hiding from Mr. Media, Eric.
I suppose not. Well, never given it much thought, I'll be honest with you, so,
I stopped the interview dead on the first question.
you did, you got
All right.
Exactly.
All right. Let me ask you to. I'll ask the question.
Ambush journalism.
Yeah. We actually in the media like to call it gotcha journalism.
Gotcha.
You know what it is, Eric? I asked you the tough question first, so we would make Chase sweat when we finally get to him, because he'd be like, "Oh my God, what's he going to follow that with?" So let me ask you this, Eric, and then we'll leave you alone for a minute. But what could a lead singer learn about himself by performing a set from behind the drum kit, do you think?
what could Chase learn? I tend to be more vocal than he does.
Really?
Yeah, I'll just, I mean, not like I'm, you know, I don't know, I won't sit there, you know, call out songs all night or anything like that, but I might say this song's called that or say thank you when nobody else will and just stuff like that. But just, I don't know, it's nothing I hate him for.
Hates him for other things.
I'd rather him be up there than I get the high drums. He's just got a guitar and a microphone, so, you know, I got a Ford in front of me, so.
I got it. Your mistakes are between you and yourself, and his mistakes are between him and the world.
Pretty much, yeah. I have a larger margin for error than he does. Let's put it that way.
I got it. All right. All right. Well, Wes, let me turn to you. We'll still make Chase worry for another minute. So, Wes, my understanding is that you pretty much founded the band.
But in a manner of speaking, Eric and I had been in a band together a long time ago, and I'd been completely out of it, and I think I always missed it, and I'd written some songs and stuff, but really didn't have any avenue to, you know, do anything with them. And then one night I'm walking down the street, and I meet this guy, you know, 100 yards from where we're sitting right now. He'd just moved back to town, and we hit it off, you know, as friends, and just realized we had a lot of the same, you know, musical tastes. And when we finally started playing together, it was just kind of automatic. So the band, I think, just kind of happened organically from that point.
Where did the name come from?
It's not really such a great story. We, like any band, you know, you kind of start putting together a list of names that you like. And in the internet age, we would immediately find out that every clever, cool name we could think of was already taken. And in some case, you know, multiple times. And the Ready Stance was somewhere on one of those lists. And when we, you know, Googled it, we didn't find that there was already, you know, another one. And it was available. And, you know, we kind of liked it. Kind of had some good imagery and easy, you know, easy images to attach to it. So I think we already had a show booked, so we figured we had to
Needed a name.
Yeah, we needed to pick something and stick with it.
I had a guy, Nick Tremulis from Chicago. He's got a band called the Hold Steady, and I thought,
oh sure,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's another interesting name. I mean, it's just.
Although why don't they go with Tremulous? That's awesome. We can
right?
change the name to that right now.
Well,
Rename the interview as "This is your interview with Tremulous."
I'll tell you what I'll do. I will send this interview to Nick, and we'll see if he gets the message.
We're the Tremuli.
Right, Tremulous would be the plural. So, and just I'll ask all you guys this: who do you guys feel is the audience for the Ready Stance? I mean, who are you thinking? You know, when you're writing songs, when you're rehearsing, who are you thinking that the band is going to most appeal to?
Ourselves.
Yeah, us.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Just anyone who likes rock music, like, you know, trying to be as unpretentious as possible, I guess. Yeah, people who like two guitars, bass, and drums, really.
All right. That's a good answer. Well, I want to tell folks, first of all, to the audience, you're lucky because you're not going to see me, because I thought four guys on screen at once was plenty, and I would just put people over the top. So in case you're wondering where I've gone, I'm here, but I'm just kind of a disembodied voice for this interview. And we talked before the show, and the band is going to perform two or three songs. Maybe this is probably a good spot, maybe to do the first. You're going to do a song called Marathon, which is on the new record, Damndest. And guys, I don't know, is there anything you want us to know about the song before you perform?
Wesley? Well, it's sort of just based on a story. I grew up in a kind of a small town in southern Ohio, and there was a guy that we all knew who had a speech impediment, and he, when he was younger, was a attendant at a gas station right in the middle of town. And as the legend went, you know, sometime one day a customer came in who had the same speech impediment, and this guy was convinced that the customer was making fun of him and, you know, kind of imitating him at his expense, and a fist fight ensued, and it kind of just became local folklore. And The song's pretty much direct conveyance of that, I guess.
Well, great. I'm glad I asked the question because I would have never known that. That's great. All right, folks, this is Marathon from the new Ready Stance album, Damndest. Fellas? All right. Very nice. Thank you, guys. That was terrific. And now what I was thinking now that the lyrics make so much more sense to me is that I wondered if each of you could be available to go every time someone downloads the album to just kind of walk them through that, because it makes so much more sense when you hear that the line is it son of a bitch, are you making fun of me?
Yeah.
All right. It's not that.
Many Billy's fights start with that exact line.
So it turns out it's not a song about Marathon, Florida. See, I mean, I just wouldn't.
The rest of the record is about Florida, but
It's a theme. It's all about Jupiter, Florida.
I see. This is what I mean. You guys need to be there to kind of explain that to people. I appreciate that.
willing. Yeah, we'll travel the country and talk to
And Randy, since you just spoke up, I want to drag you into the conversation now. It's interesting. I had checked out, and folks, the Ready Stance has a YouTube channel. I encourage you to go and you can check them out and see some other stuff that they've done. But what I noticed in the video was clearly Chase is the perfect guy to be a the front guy and the lead singer, because he's got all that energy, and you could see it even sitting there. And Randy, the two of you, it's very interesting to me. It's less pronounced sitting still, obviously in someone's house, but like up on stage, there's this real pronounced difference between the two of you. I mean, is it that you just let him have the stage, or are you ready to cut loose at a moment's notice?
I'm afraid he'll beat my ass.
Actually, I pay Randy so I can have the spot.
No, I don't know. You know what? I don't know. I never really thought about it. Are you saying that I have shitty stage presence?
No. I'm
shitty?
No.
I have to climb through this internet.
Oh my God. No, not at all. Of course not. Of course not.
No, I don't know. No, I don't know. Yes. Or no, I've already forgotten what the question is.
That was not a planned question. It was just having watched the video and then watching you guys. I mean, you're very focused and you're very, involved with your instrument. And
Eric is a great drummer, and I just try and keep up with him. Playing it to the peak of my ability, such as it is.
Now.
You're modest, Randy.
Oh my God.
At some point, I will, maybe I'm thinking of incorporating a mini tramp or something like that on stage. To get some dramatic action leaps.
That was some great
rock stances.
There you go.
But thus far, I guess I suck.
Oh, stop.
No, it's really the Chase is the issue. I mean, it's sort of like
Chase's fault.
If you were put into a small corral with a Brahma bull, that's what it's like being on stage with Chase. He's just storming around, and if you get out of his way or get trampled, basically, that's the way it works.
Yeah.
So I like to look at myself.
It's a monster.
And Wes, thank you for covering me there. Yep, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of what I was getting at. I mean, obviously, Chase, you've got a lot of energy. It looked like it was very difficult for you to stay seated.
Yeah, it is. It's tough for me to sit down for long periods of time. So if I seem antsy, don't take offense.
No, none at all, none whatsoever. And Wes,
if it illustrates that story at all, one thing I can tell you from numerous experiences, when Chase and I were recording guitar tracks for the record, we're doing it down in our basement. It was the middle of the winter and it was freezing down there, and he'd be playing and I'd be engineering, and I'd be sitting there wrapped up in a blanket, with a space heater, just trying to get through it. He'd be wearing a T-shirt in January, sweating through it like he was, a prize fighter. The guy just puts a lot of energy, into his rock, and and it shines through it like the sweat under his pits.
Poor guy. I don't know how to follow sweat under his pits.
He's the quintessential energetic frontman.
Yeah.
Is there an age difference at work here?
No.
You guys all about the same age?
I mean, by orders of magnitude, yes. I'm a wee bit younger than these fellows, but
Wee bit.
just a wee bit.
Okay.
Yeah, but
I think really the City Beat article here in town that came out said with veterans and a rookie. He's not a rookie, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that explains
I think it said that Randy and Eric and I had been veterans of late '80s and '90s bands while Chase was in elementary school. I think that's what
Is that a quote?
That's close. Yeah,
It's pretty close.
You can have your crack team of researchers, double check, but that's close.
Now, so Wes and Eric, you guys were in Middlemarch,
Right.
And Randy, where do you come into the picture with Ready Stance?
Well, Wes actually contacted me, and I contributed band names before I was in the band.
that's true.
But but none of them made the cut.
Well, some of them were great, but
they were great.
There were 2 or 3 that were on
Who
that
knew
list.
there was a Rolling Stones?
In a ruddles.
But no, Wes asked me to do it, and I hadn't played bass really since the Ass Ponies, and I don't know. I was hesitant, and then he played me some of the songs, and they were beautiful. I just couldn't say no. So I did it.
Now you're stuck with us.
Now I'm stuck with it. Legally.
How long did you guys play together before you decided that this was a band and this was something that you could make something out of? Because I'm sure. Well, I'm going to guess here because I've been around bands for a long time. I'm going to guess that you've probably all been in groups where you've gotten together with other guys or women, whatever, and you've played together and you've rehearsed and you tried some stuff out and you went, nah, it's not working. Got to keep moving. Find some other guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think I lived in Athens, Georgia for a number of years before I moved back here, and I don't know, as soon as I met Wes, we started playing, just playing covers in a friend's basement, and I don't know, it just seemed to be some sort of connection. Like, you play music with this guy, and then he had all these songs that he had written, and they were great. So decided he let me sing them, and
you were willing to sing them. Yeah. You honored them by singing.
But I guess before we played our first show, a year and a half ago, maybe roughly, and we'd been playing together for maybe a year before.
Maybe, yeah. But I'd say, Eric, I'd say by the time we realized that, that we had something and it was time to move forward, and Eric started playing with us, it was certainly less than a year before our first show. Definitely.
Yeah, we played, it was 2009 when we first got together. We played out a year later.
Yeah.
So we practiced for about a year and then did our first show.
And some of the stuff on the record we recorded before we had played out, at least a couple of those tracks. So, kind of, maybe because because it's not our first time around, because we've all done it before, we sort of came out, fully formed, not as though, we'd had, still had rough edges and all that, but we pretty much came out of the gate as a, complete band with our, at least a original set list and stuff at that point.
I imagine that having been through this before, all of you, it was probably easier to recognize what was working and what wasn't, and that it was gonna gel.
Yeah, and
no doubt about it.
It's like just personalities. We all get along really well, and I think that's the most important part. I mean, you hear about bands imploding based on just people can't get along, but we get along great. So as long as we, I think we'll keep playing music together as long as we like each other, which hopefully will be a long time.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, we're friends and it's fun, and if it's good and other people like it, that's just icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, I'm just hoping that the friendship lasts at least till the end of the interview, which
we'll see.
we'll see.
Quit trying to rip us apart, Bob. Stop trying to come between us.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a bad boy. So Eric, let me come back to you for a question that'll be a little easier than the first one.
You nailed the first one.
Well, what I was wondering is that you and Wes played together in Middlemarch. Are there people that make the connection? Who are fans of that band who make the connection, and is there people who haven't yet made the connection? Are there elements of Middlemarch that they would recognize in the Ready Stance?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
There's you could definitely hear. I mean, even in just some of the press that we've gotten lately, just you can tell, just the the guitar sounds, just kind of the jangly guitar sound. That was a huge thing at Middlemarch, and I think that would probably be the most recognizable feature song wise. Maybe to an extent, but I think it'd be more. I think in terms of the music more than anything. I think that's what people would really take from it as far as the Middlemarch influence anyway.
There's probably people who see us who have seen Middlemarch, I imagine, right?
I'm sure so.
Yeah, I would say.
Eric's just being nice, though. The fact is, I only know how to do one thing. It's not like I could be in another kind of band or write another kind of song or play the guitar in a different style. I'm pretty one-dimensional. So
at least 5 chords. That's
at least.
It's really all you need.
Some of them I had a pinky to. That makes them a different chord. Yeah.
Well,
yeah, to that extent, there's that. And I think a lot of the energy's similar. I mean, they're both really energetic bands and like to rock
all right.
and roll.
And roll. You do both.
Both kinds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you guys want to do another song?
Sure.
All right. Is it? I gotta ask because I know that if I don't ask, I'll get it wrong one way or the other. Is it Little Carmel or Little Caramel?
Caramel.
Like the sweet, or is there another story here I'm gonna get to hear?
Well, I think actually it's a biblical term. I think it was originally Carmel with that spelling was biblical, and there was a little tiny community called that, and that's the song's about that community and its peoples.
Its peoples. All right. Well, why don't we give a listen to this? This is Little Carmel, right?
No,
Did I just say it wrong again? Carmel, Little Carmel.
Clint Eastwood is not the former mayor.
Ah, okay. Little Carmel.
Yeah.
Little Carmel from the Ready Stance off the new album, Damndest. It's all yours, fellas.
Thanks, sir.
All right. I didn't want to start clapping on the last beat. That was terrific. You know, and I noticed something in the version you just did that I didn't pick up on the recorded version. stop me if I'm way out of line here, but the beginning sounded a little like "This Boy" by the Beatles.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. Rhythmically,
Yeah,
for
you know
sure.
what? I guess it does.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay. I didn't.
Well,
I was prepared to be told I was out of my mind, but that's what I heard.
I think
No.
you're right.
We like those guys, kind of.
Yeah. I think I've heard of them.
Yeah, they might have a future in the business.
As I said, I'm more of a Ruddles fan, but Beatles are.
And Chase, you look a little more like Paul, I think, actually. You know, in that Let It Be era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See that? Yeah.
With 1/10 of the talent, but yeah.
I'm staying out of your band politics.
You should hear him left-handed.
Yeah,
really?
True, actually left-handed, so yeah.
Yeah.
He only plays bass left-handed.
Well, now when we started talking, I think you guys mentioned, Wes, that you write most of the songs.
On Damndest, anyway. Yes.
Okay.
It was sort of at the time that I met Chase and the story I was telling you earlier. I've kind of been busy with a business and a young family, and I think it was kind of my escape was to set up a little recording, set up in the basement, and started writing some stuff and recording it and kind of playing everything myself. So by the time Chase and I met, I had, I guess, a record's worth of songs written. But now that that's out, everything we're doing now is pretty much, group effort, collaborative stuff. So it's kind of going in a different direction with the newer stuff. So Damndest is kind of the, I guess, the song book that existed at the time that we met. That kind of had to, we had to purge the files before we could move on.
All right, and so you guys are already creating new music for the future.
Yeah, we have close to an album's worth of new stuff.
All right. Well,
Start recording soon.
Yeah.
and we'll and we all know here that before we're done, we're going to hear one of those songs, which is great.
Sure.
I'm looking forward to that. How would you, Wes? How would you describe the nature of the lyrics on Damndest? I mean, are they, or maybe any of you guys can jump in on this? Are they earnest? Is there any? Would you describe that being maybe some humor, or are they ironic? Are they? Is there anything that that captures them as a group, or maybe they're completely different?
I would be flattered to think that they're all of the things you mentioned. And I guess that was the intent. Whether I succeeded in it or not, I guess not for me to say. But I think they were. I intended for them to be, ironic, funny, insightful here and there. Some of them, have a little more depth, and some of them have a little more humor. But I'd almost prefer to hear what these guys said and try to explain.
A lot of good stories. It seems like most of them have a pretty cool, like the marathon story. Most of the songs have a story like that. Mostly rooted in your upbringing. Yeah. So
That's what I hear about it. Everybody likes just the beginning and the middle and the end. Everything makes sense. There's a path to everything. It tells a story, and it's like there's a beginning, there's a beginning, then there's some kind of conflict or whatever of some sort, and then there's a resolve, and but that's what I hear a lot from people that will talk about, lyrically. That's what they'll talk about. They like they all tell a story that's a good story. You can tell them they're earnest, honest, ironic, funny. Basically all the things you mentioned earlier, just kind of expounding on what you said. But that's what I hear from most people anyway.
I wanted to ask you, the single off the album is called "Wrecking Ball," and I gotta ask, if you had it to do over, would you have retitled or held back "Wrecking Ball" if you had known that Springsteen's new album?
no, actually, he took that.
Yeah, you should ask him that.
All right.
Did he call and ask Tony Danza, who was the boss?
The Red Stance team of attorneys is already in discussion. We're already serving papers.
Are you good? Good.
We had no idea. So the song's been around. We had it done, and then we heard that kind of at the last minute.
Wow, that would be like, oh, because I know when I was first introduced to the band, it was like, oh, and their single is "Wrecking Ball." I thought, I'm sorry, what? I mean, stuff happens. What are you going to do, right?
Yeah, I think he needs to make his own way in this. If he's going to keep riding on our coattails and following everything we do, then God bless him.
Our next record, Stairway to Heaven, is going to change it.
Well, Chase, I want to ask you something. As the lead singer, and at the moment for this album, singing mostly songs that were written by Wes, and this, the first time around you guys doing this together, were there any songs that the words you were uncomfortable with, or that you asked to change, or didn't want to do because they just didn't match up with you well? Or would you do that, if you felt that way anyway?
Probably not, but no, I think it coincides. I've never sung in a band before, this band, so it kind of...
Really?
But yeah, so it kind of worked well.
Can you believe that?
No, I really can't. I'm kind of stunned to hear that.
But yeah, so it was kind of like, no, I would...
There were points where I think you improved the phrasing on some stuff. I remember when we were working on recording the vocals, we were like, this might be...
If it's a mouthful or whatever.
Yeah, there were some that were too... Yeah, he definitely made some editorial improvements for sure.
But yeah, I don't know. I trust Wes and his creative choices, so... I'm just a puppet is what I'm saying.
Well, you wonder about that.
Yeah, I'm a marionette.
It's Wes's world, and we don't decide.
Yeah, that's right.
All the strings.
The beatings will commence right after
What he did to us to get us to do this was you just wouldn't even.
Yeah, you don't want to know.
I'm a despot.
Well, I'll give you an example, and maybe this is an extreme example, but I think of, when I think of the Who, I think of, Daltrey sang all the songs, but were pretty much all written by Pete Townsend. And when I hear Pete Townsend sing his own songs, I like his material so much better than when it comes out of Roger Daltrey's mouth. And sometimes I wonder if Daltrey was just really, I'll use the term puppet because you use that, but if he just sang whatever was handed to him, and he ever thought about whether obviously there's some great classic songs there, but to me a lot of that stuff was so personal that I liked the stuff when it came out of Townsend's mouth better. So I just wondered if, I never asked the lead singer this before, but if you if you personalize the material, if you're not writing it, and if you're concerned about what you're actually singing, or you're just looking to sing a good groove, a good song. Yeah,
that's a great question, and I agree. It seems like the more earnest Who songs are the ones where Pete sings, but I think if there were an issue with any of the lyrics, I would.
Yeah, I don't think it's a song you didn't like.
Yeah, but
and I guarantee you do not want to hear me sing. That's the one thing I'm sure. Unlike Pete.
All right.
And I think the way the way I learned all these songs, we kind of over the course of at least a year we were developing them, I guess. So I may sing them. Wes had demos of some of these early songs, but I sing them differently than he
totally
does. I guess.
Yeah. No, he fleshed them out completely. They're radically improved and reshaped.
But it did take a while for me to build the confidence to be the lead singer in a band, I guess. But it helps that they're good words, and I feel good singing them.
All right. Well, one more word question, and then I want to get to our third and final song of the evening. Who wants to explain the album's title, Damndest?
Probably Wes.
because I'm the marionette.
He's the godfather.
It's kind of self-deprecating, probably.
Yeah,
in a way, it's kind of like...
I don't know. I think to our knowledge, I've never heard anybody use it, but it's kind of a nice double meaning, like damnedest thing I ever heard, or we tried our
this
damnedest.
Is the best we could do, and
we gave it our
damnedest.
It's kind of, and it's all. I think it's all accurate. We put a lot into it. We tried hard, so we gave it our damnedest, and we like to think it's a damn good record. So possibly the damnedest thing you ever heard, and it's just more of our catchy, earnest Midwestern stuff.
I got it. It's so you're saying it's kind of I think what the people on the East Coast would call a flyover record.
Man, we're definitely from flyover country.
Sorry.
We're a little south of flyover country.
And what would make Damndest a success in your minds?
I think it already is. We have an album out on vinyl.
We're on Mr. Media, for God's
Yeah,
sakes.
goodness gracious.
Yeah.
I mean, it's successful in my mind, and that we finished it, and we think it sounds good.
Yeah, we made a record that we like and believe in. So yeah,
and it'd be great if people besides us would hear it and like it. But I mean,
Seems unlikely.
yeah, I mean, it's a long shot, but I think we're happy
When
with
you
it.
make something, if you were a painter or a sculptor or a writer or an artist or a musician of some, all you can do is make it and do your best, and it's a success if you're happy with your creation.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you want people to like it, and we're narcissistic or we wouldn't be in a band. Yeah, it is. It's already a success. I just hope other people will discover it before we die.
Randy, that was such a nice answer. I've decided I'm not going to question you about the Ass Ponies after all.
Oh, you can ask
You
me.
should.
Ask me.
Great band.
Yeah, it was fun.
Okay, all right. I gotta ask. Can you explain the? I mean, I asked about the. I'm assuming that the Ass Ponies have a much better story behind the name than
And you would
the
be
Ready
so
Stands.
fucking wrong. No, you know what? Again, we had a show booked, and we had a list of potential band names like brown colored. Was a contender. Pimple retard. Boo Radley, and then we found out there was already a band in England called that. But anyway, Ass was part of something, and Pony was part of something else, and our drummer said, "Oh, we should just make it Ass Ponies." It doesn't mean anything. I used to tell people that it was, a phrase from the Bible, so that they would feel foolish for being judgmental about it or something.
I used to think it was a baby donkey.
A baby donkey. It doesn't mean anything. I wish there was a better story. I should have lied and made something up, but really, it didn't mean a thing. And we thought it was funny. And at the time when we put that first Ass Ponies record out, we tried to make it look as much like a Wax Trax 12-inch disco industrial record, even though it was nothing like that. I think that would be all we would ever do. There you go.
Did you guys have any trouble getting booked as the Ass Ponies?
Here in Cincinnati, yeah. I mean, Cincinnati is an awful place.
Oh no, I hear they love Larry Flint there.
Yeah. Like the local papers here would refer to us as the Burrow Ponies.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. It was insane.
The asterisk ponies.
Yeah. It was a joke, and a terrible band name. Kids at home watching.
Great
If you're
band.
thinking of calling your band something that seems funny at first, that's a bad idea. It will just haunt you forever.
Wow.
But it's nice to make your mom or grandma say, "That's my son's band." That's kind of fun.
I'm gonna play this for my daughter, who's a guitarist. I'm gonna play that
Oh,
part for her
great.
especially,
So,
and make sure she knows to choose that band name very carefully.
yeah.
Be with you for a while.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Well, I hear. Who would have thought?
Oh my God! All right, well that was a good thing. Thank you for sharing that with us. So the last song is it's called Old So and So, and this is an unreleased song. So do not record this, do not share this. All those things we want to say. Of course, we're recording it via Skype, so I don't think we're in any danger of people about having to worry about the quality being so high that people are going to record it and file share based on this version. So I think we're going to be okay there.
Yeah.
Feel free. Go right to the Pirate Bay and get it.
Anything you guys want us to know about the song before you play?
This one, as we were talking about earlier, it's the newer batch of songs that was kind of written spontaneously, all of us, So this is kind of a picture of what our song, what the next album will be, I guess, more collaborative. So
Very good.
yeah, I mean, There's no real story behind it.
Okay.
There was
No.
Just be sure. All right. Well, if you guys are ready, this is Old So-and-So by the Ready Stance.
Thanks, Bob.
All right. All right. Wow, that was very cool, guys. Thank you so much. I think that's a first for the show. We've had a lot of musicians on. We've had a lot of acoustic versions. I don't think we've ever had an unreleased song on before. So, thank you for sharing that with us. That was very cool.
I think this is the only second time we've even done an acoustic set. We did one at our local record store for the release party a few weeks ago. We weren't even sure that the acoustic thing would come together, but yeah, we're enjoying it. Now we're doing another one locally soon.
Oh, very cool.
So, I don't know if your listeners know from this, we're actually just a totally electric rock band, and this isn't really what we usually do.
Well, I tell you what, we've experimented over time with a band or two that try to do everything electric, and it overwhelms
I can imagine
the bubble gum and aluminum foil that holds Skype together. It's just a little bit too much for that. So well, folks, listen. You can find Damndest, the new album from the Ready Stance, in great music stores everywhere, or you can download it right now at a great price at mrmedia.com, mrmedia.com. Guys, you've got a website. You want to tell everybody where that is?
It's on the internet.
http:// //
Is that only available in Newport, Kentucky, or can people find it in across the river in Cincinnati?
And you get it in Florida.
Long distance rates apply, but I think you can. It's readystance.com.
And it's on Amazon and iTunes and eMusic and Rhapsody and on and on and on. So I'd say if you Google our band name or Google Ready Stance Damndest, you're sure to find a source.
And if you have one of those old-timey those record player things, it's on vinyl as well. So
if you buy the vinyl, you get the free download card. So that's the way to go.
Sounds very good. And I know, let's see, you guys are on Facebook, because I know I liked your page. And
be friends with us.
help these guys out. Give them some extra friends. Sign up now.
We just desperately want to be liked.
Very good. And go if you want to see what they're like electric and live, go check out their YouTube page. Just search the Ready Stance, and that will come up.
Stuff coming soon on that.
All right. Wes, Eric, Chase, and Randy, the Ready Stance, thank you guys so much for playing for us tonight and for joining us on Mr. Media. It was a great show. Thank you.
Our pleasure.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks.
For more original interviews, surf over to our main website, mrmedia.com, mrmedia.com. If you've enjoyed today's show, subscribe for free to Mr. Media via email, RSS, or iTunes, and you'll never miss a show. Another good idea, download our new free Mr. Media mobile app in the Android market. You can also listen with a piece of string and a tin can in many parts of the Internet. Show your support of Mr. Media by supporting our sponsors, including Audible. To download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/radio. Again, that's audibletrial.com/radio for your free audiobook. We're also supported by thepartyauthority.us. Call DJ Ira for all your party entertainment needs nationwide at 1-800-DIAL-DJs or visit their website, thepartyauthority.us. If you've got an idea for a guest, a comment on today's show, or would like to advertise on Mr. Media Radio, email me directly at bob@mrmedia.com, mrmedia.com. You can also call our 24-hour listener line at 1-727-498-4711. Some messages may be used in an upcoming show. And unless you live next door to Mr. Media, there may be a toll charge. You can also follow Mr. Media on Facebook, Twitter, or our new YouTube and Vimeo video channels. Thanks so much for joining us today. I always appreciate you sharing a piece of your day with Mr. Media. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Hey everybody, this is Bob Andelman from Mr. Media. First of all, I want to thank you for years of support listening to this show. We're starting our 6th year, it's hard to believe, our 6th year as 2012 starts, and heading towards our 1,000th online podcast, audio and video. It's pretty amazing, frankly. I remember starting it several years ago thinking, this will never last. And podcasts, that's as stupid a word as blogging. But here we are, starting our 6th year and heading up to 1,000 interviews. And I want to thank everybody for listening and supporting the show. I also want to tell you that, one of the things that's been very helpful for this show is Stitcher Radio. Yes, this is sort of a commercial. Now, there are millions of smartphone apps in the world, but I only use one several times a day, Stitcher Radio. I build my own radio station to listen to broadcast and online shows when I want and in the order I want. CNN News Update, Onion Radio News, WTF with Mark Maron, MSNBC's Morning Joe, Studio 60, the TechCrunch headlines, and of course, Mr. Media. It's free. It works on iPhone, Android, BlackBerry, Palm Pre, and much more. And you can get it for free for yourself. Try it out. I guarantee you're going to love it. Stitcher.com/mrmedia. That's Stitcher.com/Mr. Media. You're going to love it. And thanks again for supporting the show.